Hi everyone, this is Learn Harry Potter with me, your mentor, Jude. Hello witches, wizards and muggles. Welcome to week 5 of Learn Harry Potter. Each week we will explore the wizarding world of Harry Potter and the mysteries of the Hogwarts castle. We will create, learn, and play. In today's class, we will be learning about some of the magical creatures in the wizarding world. We'll start and end with a fun facts quiz. There will be lots of fun activities, and as always, there will be some extra practice to complete after class if you wish. Let's get started with the fun facts quiz. Someone who cares for magical creatures is called a beast hunter, magi vet, dragon keeper, or magizoologist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done, everyone. Someone who cares for magical creatures is called a magizoologist. This is 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗁𝗏. He is a magizoologist. Newt loves to care for magical creatures. Perhaps unsurprisingly, Newt is a Hufflepuff. Do you remember the defining characteristics of a Hufflepuff? Pause the video and see if you can remember 3 of them. Well done, everyone. Hufflepuffs are kind, loyal, and dedicated. Do you feel any of these traits describe you? Perhaps you are a Hufflepuff. Now, I want you to pause the video and write your answers down to the following questions. What's your favourite animal in the Muggle world, the non-magic world? What's your favourite animal in the wizarding world? Perhaps this is a creature that you've seen in the books or films. And lastly, if you were an animal, which animal would you be? Maybe this is the animal you most want to be, or the animal that you think fits your personality the most. Pause the video and write your answers down. Welcome back, everyone, and well done. I wish I could hear all about your answers. Let me share mine. My answers to question 1 and 3 are exactly the same. Dogs. That's because I absolutely love dogs. And I also think that a dog's personality is quite similar to mine, because they are loyal and playful. And my answer to question 2 is the Niffler, because they're so cute. In today's class, we'll be learning about 6 magical creatures. Fluffy, the 3-headed dog. Fawkes, the phoenix. Nifflers. Aragog, the acromantula. Buckbeak, the hippogriff. And mandrakes. Do you recognize any of these wonderful and fantastical creatures from the books or films? I hope you are as excited to learn about them as I am. Let's get started with a story time. Witches, wizards and muggles, grab a butterbeer and get cozy. It's time for a story. We'll first be reading and learning about mandrakes. We'll be repotting mandrakes today. Now, who can tell me the properties of a mandrake? To nobody's surprise, Hermione's hand was first into the air. Mandrake or mandragora is a powerful restorative, said Hermione, sounding as usual as though she had swallowed the textbook. It is used to return people who have been transfigured or cursed to their original state. Excellent! 10 points to Gryffindor, said Professor Sprout. It is also, however, dangerous. The cry of a mandrake is fatal to anyone who hears it. 100 or so tufty little plants, purplish and green colour, were growing there in rows. They looked quite unremarkable to Harry, who didn't have the slightest idea what Hermione meant by the cry of a mandrake. Everyone take a pair of earmuffs, said Professor Sprout. There was a scramble as everyone tried to seize a pair that wasn't pink and fluffy. Harry snapped the earmuffs over his ears. They shut out sound completely. Professor Sprout put the pink fluffy pair over her own ears, rolled up the sleeves of her robes, grasped one of the tufty plants firmly and pulled hard. Harry let out a gasp of surprise that no one could hear. Instead of roots, a small, muddy, and extremely ugly baby popped out of the earth. The leaves were growing right out of its head. He had pale green, malted skin and was clearly bawling at the top of his lungs. Professor Sprout took a large plant pot from under the table and plunged the mandrake into it, burying him in dark, damp compost until only the tough leaves were visible. Professor Sprout dusted off her hands, gave them all a thumbs up, and removed her own earmuffs. Wow, what a sight that must have been! A baby's head on a plant? Weird. Okay, let's move on to fawkes. Professor, Harry gasped. Your bird! I couldn't do anything. He just caught fire. To Harry's astonishment, Dumbledore smiled. Oh, about time too, he said. He's been looking dreadful for days. I've been telling him to get a move on. He chuckled at the stunned look on Harry's face. Fawkes is a phoenix, Harry. Phoenixes burst into flames when it is time for them to die, and are reborn from the ashes. Watch him. Harry looked down in time to see a tiny, wrinkled, newborn bird poke its head out of the ashes. It was quite as ugly as the old one. It's a shame you had to see him on a burning day, said Dumbledore, seating himself behind his desk. He's really very handsome most of the time. Wonderful red and gold plumage. Fascinating creatures, phoenixes. They can carry immensely heavy loads. Their tears have healing powers, and they make highly faithful pets. Harry must have had such a shock. On entering Dumbledore's office, his own bird turned into flames. Now, let's move on to Nifflers. We'll be reading from one of the most popular wizarding books of all time, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which was written by our friend Newt Scamander. The Niffler is a British beast, fluffy, black and long-snouted. This burrowing creature has a predilection for anything glittery. Nifflers are often kept by goblins to bury deep into the earth for treasure. Though the Niffler is gentle and affectionate, it can be destructive to belongings and should never be kept in the house. Nifflers live up to 20 feet below the surface. In case you are unsure, the word predilection means love or liking for, so Nifflers love anything glittery or shiny. And now, let's practice. Let's learn by listening and drawing. As previously, I'll be reading from the Harry Potter books. And whilst I read, you should listen for how this creature looks and draw what you hear. Feel free to pause while I'm reading or go back if you need more time. Remember, draw what you hear. Trotting towards them were a dozen of the most bizarre creatures Harry had ever seen. They had the bodies, hind legs and tails of horses, but the front legs, wings and heads of what seemed to be giant eagles with cruel steel-coloured beaks and large, brilliantly orange eyes. The talons on their front legs were half a foot long and deadly looking. Each of the beasts had a thick leather collar around its neck, which was attached to a long chain, and the ends of all these were held in the vast hands of Hagrid, who came jogging into the paddock behind the creatures. What did you hear? What did you draw? Again, please feel free to go back and listen again. Is this what you drew? This is a hippogriff. This particular hippogriff is called Buckbeak, and he's one of Hagrid's pets. I have a special treat for you. If you follow this link, which is in the video description, you can see Buckbeak right in front of you through virtual reality. You'll just need a phone. Please ask an adult or a sibling to help you with this. Now let's listen for another creature. Remember, draw what you hear, and feel free to pause the video or rewind if you need more time. For a moment, Harry was sure he'd walked into a nightmare. They were in the forbidden corridor on the 3rd floor, and now they knew why it was forbidden. They were looking straight into the eyes of a monstrous dog, a dog that filled the whole space between ceiling and floor. It had 3 heads, 3 pairs of rolling mad eyes, 3 noses twitching and quivering in their direction, 3 drooling mouths, saliva hanging in slippery ropes from yellowish fangs. It was standing quite still, all 6 eyes staring at them, and Harry knew that the only reason they weren't already dead was that their sudden appearance had taken it by surprise. But it was quickly getting over that. There was no mistaking what those thunderous growls meant. Wow, that one was a bit scary, right? So, what did you hear? And what did you draw? Feel free to go back and listen again. Is this what you drew? As you can see, this is a 3-headed dog. This particular 3-headed dog is called Fluffy. Can you believe that? Fluffy. Again, this is one of Hagrid's pets. And now for the last magical creature we'll be learning about today. Which creature are we missing? Remember, draw what you hear. Spiders. Not tiny spiders like those surging over the leaves below. Spiders the size of cart horses, 8-eyed, 8-legged, black, hairy, gigantic. The massive specimen that was carrying Harry made its way down the steep slope toward a misty, doomed web in the very centre. Harry fell onto the ground on all fours as the spider released him. Ron and Fang thudded down next to him. Fang wasn't howling anymore, but cowering silently on the spot. Ron looked exactly like Harry felt. His mouth was stretched wide in a kind of silent scream, and his eyes were popping. Harry suddenly realised that the spider that had dropped him was saying something. It had been hard to tell, because he clicked his pincers with every word he spoke. Aragog, and from the middle of the misty, doomed web, a spider the size of a small elephant emerged, very slowly. What did you hear? What did you draw? Feel free to go back and listen again. Is this what you drew? This is an 𝗓𝗏𝗁𝗁𝗁, which means a giant magical spider. This particular 𝗓𝗏𝗁𝗁 is called Aragog, and again, he's one of Hagrid's pets. Here is another special treat for you. If you dare, you can follow this link and see Aragog right in front of you through virtual reality. You'll just need the phone, so ask an adult or a sibling to help you with this. Well done, witches, wizards and muggles. When you're finished drawing your magical creatures, make sure to send a photo. I would absolutely love to see them. Let's move on to another activity, learning by matching. On the right, you'll see all of our magical creatures. Match them with their name. Pause the video to do this. Welcome back everyone, and well done. Let's go through the answers. Yes, this is Aragog the 𝗓𝗏𝗁𝗁𝗁. This is a Niffler with his shiny things. The plant with a baby head is a mandrake. Fawkes is the phoenix, yes. This is Buckbeak the hippogriff. And lastly, this is Fluffy, the 3-headed dog. Well done, witches, wizards and muggles. Now match the magical creature with the description on the right. Pause the video while you do this. Welcome back everyone. Let's go through the answers. Well done. Aragog was described as big as an elephant. That's correct. Nifflers search for treasure. Mandrakes scream very loud. Fawkes' tears have healing powers. How amazing. Hippogriffs are described as like a giant eagle. And lastly, Fluffy is a three-headed dog. Well done, witches, wizards and muggles. Let's learn by word searching. On the left, you can see all of the magical creatures we have learnt about today. Find their names in this word search. Pause the video while you do this. Welcome back, everyone. Let's go through the answers. Here are the correct answers. Did you find any of them tricky? Well done, witches, wizards and muggles. For our last activity, we have something very creative and exciting. We'll be creating our own mandrakes, just from things you can find at home. If this sounds interesting, let's dive right in. This is what you'll need. You'll need some toilet paper or rice for the body of the mandrake. If you want it to be lighter, then use toilet paper, or if you want it to be heavy, use rice. You'll need 2 or 3 elastic bands, scissors, and you should always ask for an adult's help with this. You'll need some grass or leaves, and if you can't find those, you should just take some paper and a green pen or pencil and colour your own leaves and use those. You'll need a black pen and 1 sock. Now, mandrakes are usually brown, but it can be any colour sock you like. Witches, wizards and muggles, I'm so excited for you to make your own mandrakes, so let's dive right in. Feel free to pause throughout and rewind or watch again if you'd like to. The first thing you need to do is gather everything you need. Then take the sock and toilet paper and fill the sock with as much toilet paper as you'd like, or rice if that's what you're using. Now ask an adult to cut off the top of the sock for you. Put this aside for later. Then take your leaves or grass and ask an adult to cut them to the size that you'd like. Pop these in the top of the sock and wrap it all together with an elastic band. Then take another elastic band and wrap it around the middle of the mandrake. Next, take the black pen and draw a face of your mandrake. For my face, I had eyes, freckles, and a screaming mouth. Next, take the top of the sock that we put aside earlier and cut it into 4 strips. Take 2 of these strips and tie them together. Repeat this process twice for each arm of the mandrake. Then tuck each arm into the side of the elastic band in the middle. Feel free to use another elastic band if you need to. And there you have it, you've got your mandrake. If you want to plot your mandrake, just take a mug and pop it in. Well done, witches, wizards and muggles. I'm so proud of you. Now we all have our very own mandrakes. Hopefully these ones are a bit quieter than Madame Pomfrey's. Again, feel free to go back and watch again if you want to. Moving on to the last fun facts quiz. Which magical creature loves shiny things? Is it Fluffy, a Niffler, Aragog, or hippogriffs? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done, everyone. It's Nifflers. Let's take a look at this movie clip where Newt's commander's Niffler is being very mischievous and trying to steal lots of shiny things.
No, don't play that. Look.
If you enjoyed today's lesson, Please like and subscribe down below for more content. And if you want some more practice, here are some ideas. You can read or listen to Chapter 5 of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. To listen, click this link to hear stars from the Harry Potter series reading different chapters. Or to read in paper or digital copy, get in contact with your local library. You can take this Magical Creatures quiz, which I'll be honest is very difficult, but you'll learn so much. You can visit the online Care of Magical Creatures exhibition by the British Library by following this link. This is a fantastic opportunity to see lots of Harry Potter information, art, and learn so much more about magical creatures. This is also a great opportunity because it is available online and you don't need to travel all the way to London. But don't forget, witches, wizards and muggles, to have fun. See you next week.